Hi guys, good afternoon. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video, I will be discussing my personal theories and predictions for the next and highly anticipated Star Wars film. No, not Rogue One, although I am very excited and pumped and looking forward to that. I am talking about Star Wars Episode 8, which has yet to have a title besides Star Wars Episode 8. So, this is my prediction video for what I think that we are going to be seeing in that movie. Now, before I begin, of course, this video will contain tons and tons of big spoilers from The Force Awakens. So, if you have not seen The Force Awakens yet, A, why not? It's amazing. B, get off your ass and go see it right now at this very second. C, if you haven't seen The Force Awakens and you continue watching or listening to this video, I will be giving away tons of secrets and massive spoilers from that movie because I will be referring to what may come in Episode 8. So consider this your one and only warning. Once again, big spoilers ahead for The Force Awakens, so if you do not want that movie ruined for you because you haven't seen it yet, don't keep watching or listening to this video. You have been warned. That being said, so what I think we're definitely going to see more of is Luke and R2D2 will definitely have much bigger roles in Episode 8 than they did in Episode 7. I mean, both of them were pretty much saved until the very end. R2D2 woke up from his low power mode, perhaps because Luke sent him a little force vibe or message saying, okay, I think it's time for me to come back to the galaxy now, or come back to the reality. And R2 and BB-8 use the maps within themselves to show the resistance where Luke has been hiding all these years. And then when Rey and Chewie and R2 take the Falcon to the planet where Luke was hiding, we see Luke, we see a full body shot of him, but he doesn't have a single piece of line of dialogue throughout the entire film, not even in that final closing scene as Rey slowly extends her arm, trying to hand him his old blue lightsaber that he lost back in The Empire Strikes Back. So I know that was a big problem for a lot of fans of how they treated R2 as more of a side character. I totally understand where you guys are coming from, I really do, but at the same time, we're all pretty familiar with R2 at this point. Yes, he's a cherished, beloved character from the franchise, and he's a big fan favorite. But at the same time, this movie was also about mostly meeting and dealing with the new characters, the new people, while integrating with the older, more classic characters. But I could still see your point, and I myself was a little bummed that we didn't see him till the very end. However, at least we should be grateful that he was indeed used in this movie after all, no matter how little the role is. I definitely do believe, I think I can say with fair certainty, we will be seeing more of him and Luke in Episode 8. On the topic of Luke, I think we're going to see Luke training either willingly or reluctantly. Rey in the ways of the Force. I'm sure once Rey briefs him on everything that happened in The Force Awakens and what she lived through and saw, and of course with Kylo and Han and whatnot, and the Resistance's struggle against the First Order. And I'm sure Luke's familiar with most of it already, but he'll either willingly or reluctantly train Rey to become a Jedi. So we'll see more. We'll probably see, if not a lot of that, a little bit of that in the next movie. We'll continue to see the Resistance's ongoing struggle against the First Order with the destruction of the Starkiller base thanks to the Falcon crew and to Poe Dameron and his X-Wing fighters. They blew up that nasty weapon, and but that doesn't mean every single officer and stormtrooper were killed along with it. Obviously, even though it wasn't shown on screen, I think it's implied that at least our lead First Order characters like Kylo Ren, General Hux, and Captain Phasma probably all escaped before it exploded, because there's quite a bit of not a huge gap, but there was a bit of a time gap showing Snoke ordering General Hux to evacuate the troops, and then it cuts to Rey, running through the trees back to Finn's unconscious body when Chewbacca finds them. And that's when the planet finally starts to collapse on itself. So And plus, characters like Hux, Phasma, and Ren, you're not going to have an off-screen death for them. They're, no matter how you felt about them in the movie, they were pretty big, prominent characters for the most part. So if they were going to die, we would have definitely have seen it on screen. So it's directly in your face to let us know that they're definitely dead. So I'd say they're definitely alive, and all three of them will definitely return for episode 8, which makes me very happy because Captain Phasma actually became one of my new favorite characters. I really, really liked her. I know a lot of fans had some complaints saying she was an unused character or just a horrible character in general, which honestly confuses me because I saw some Facebook comments how people thought what a bad character she was, but I'm like, okay, but at the same time, you're a hardcore Boba Fett fan, and Boba Fett was in the original movies for a few minutes in each movie, and he was hardly used at all. He had a few lines of dialogue in Empire Strikes Back, and then he supposedly died halfway through Return of the Jedi. You were okay with that, but you're not okay with Captain Phasma? See, once again, we fanboys are a bunch of hypocrites. But I don't know. I personally enjoyed Captain Phasma, and I'm looking forward to seeing her return in Episode 8 along with all the other new characters. And hopefully she'll have a much bigger presence and a bigger role this time, especially now with the Starkiller base destroyed. I think the First Order is going to be more nasty and aggressive than ever with their fight against the Resistance. Speaking of the Resistance, for Finn, I think he will either stay with the Resistance with Leia and Poe and the others and help them continue their fight against the First Order since he knows them as a former stormtrooper, or determined to reunite with his old friend Rey again, he will set off to find her and Luke once he's been told by them, if they tell him at all where she went. And maybe they won't tell him at first because they want Rey to be alone with Luke, or they don't want to overwhelm Luke with too many people at the same time. We don't know. But Finn will definitely be back. He's definitely alive. I don't know if he was paralyzed because Kylo severed his spine while they were fighting with the lightsabers. I'm not sure of that. If so, I'm sure it's in this galaxy. They have lots of great, much higher advanced technology than we do. So I'm sure they could fix up his spine or his back just like that, and he'll be on his feet again, literally on his feet. Hopefully, we'll see more of Mr. Poe Dameron. Really, really liked Poe. He was funny, charismatic, natural leader, hell of a pilot, and I am looking forward to seeing him return as well and see more of a relationship grow between him and Finn. We saw a little bit of that in this movie, but because their screen time together was so short, they didn't have a chance to really grow in terms of their relationship with each other. So if Finn sticks with the Resistance and doesn't go after Rey, I think we'll definitely see that. Now, another interesting theory that popped into my mind, or not a theory, but a scene, is what if we get a scene where somehow Snoke and Kylo Ren track down Skywalker and Rey to Skywalker's planet, or if they eventually leave that planet and they're elsewhere in the galaxy and they're sighted? What if we get a lightsaber duel where Luke and Rey team up against Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, if the Knights of Ren are still around, which I don't see why they shouldn't be since they didn't specify if they were destroyed or not. It seems like they all survived when they slaughtered Luke's Jedi Padawans during Rey's vision when she touched the saber. So I think that would be very, very cool. I mean, or if not all of the Knights of Ren, at least Kylo Ren versus Rey and Luke, 2 against 1. That would be pretty wicked. Or maybe just Luke versus Kylo Ren. So we'll see. Now, regarding the First Order, I know there are millions of fan theories out there regarding who Supreme Leader Snoke is. And some of them are pretty interesting. People are saying it's Palpatine, it's Darth Plagueis. And for those of you not familiar with Plagueis was Palpatine's mentor, the one that Palpatine talks to Anakin about in Revenge of the Sith, when he's secretly trying to tell him, "I'm the Sith Lord." Some are saying he's a Force ghost. Some are like Yoda or Obi-Wan. Some are saying that he is Darth Vader reincarnated. God, even one theory said he's a future Kylo Ren or something like that. I don't know how that would work. My personal theory, I think this would be pretty cool if they could pull it off. If they can't pull it off, then I'm sure whatever his backstory is will be pretty damn cool. But I think it would be cool if Snoke was revealed to be a former slave or servant to Palpatine during his time as Chancellor or at least as Emperor. And Snoke is an alien species that was highly force sensitive, at least in the ways of the dark side, and somehow hid that from Palpatine and Vader if he was a slave to them during the Galactic Civil War, or if he was a servant to him during his period as Chancellor in the Republic. And maybe he was one of the few people in on the secret that Palpatine was Darth Sidious all along. I don't know if that would work or not, if it could translate well into Episode 8. I personally think that's what my personal theory is. I'm not saying it's better than anybody else's or just as bad. I just think it's an interesting theory to think about. So keep that in your minds, guys. And that's what I think could happen with Snoke. I hope we see a lot more of him. He was a great bad guy, and I think we definitely will see more of him simply because the First Order was forced to evacuate the Starkiller base while it was destroying itself. I'm I think it's a safe bet that everybody retreated back to their secondary location, which is probably where Snoke was during the whole time during The Force Awakens. Whether he was in some hidden fortress or a planet or some moon somewhere, wherever the First Order's main headquarters is, I'm sure that that's where we'll see Snoke, and he'll definitely be back for Episode 8. What else was I going to say? This isn't really a prediction, but I just wanted to shed light on some, uplifting quotes from Mr. Abrams himself. He says that he has read the Episode 8 script, so I'm assuming the script is finished and finalized, and if not finalized, they're about to finalize it. But Abrams said he read the script for Episode 8, and he said, I wish I was directing this movie, which is a very, very good sign. That means he probably gives it 2 thumbs up, and it's going to be very, very similar to Force Awakens, at least in terms of usage for special effects, practical effects, creature props, and more creature puppets, which were so good in Force Awakens. I certainly hope they keep that for Episodes 8 and 9. I hope the writers and directors and producers say, let's keep using the props, the alien makeup, and the creature effects. The fans love it. They gobble it up. And because of how well this movie is doing, both box office wise and critically, I think Disney is going to be smart enough to say, yeah, let's keep this track going. Let's make sure we stay on track with this. So good luck, Rian Johnson, who's the writer and director of Episode 8. If Abrams gives you his blessing, and then I guess so do I, because I loved what Abrams did with Episode 7. So I am trusting you with Episode 8. So I certainly hope the Force is very, very strong with you. So that's about it, guys. That's what I think we're going to be seeing in Episode 8 and what my theories on are a couple of character relationships. One quick note regarding Rey. As you know, at first I thought it would be cool, but then some people pointed it out how it'd be kind of predictable that Rey would turn out to be Luke's daughter. It would be kind of predictable, but it does seem the most likely scenario, unless they surprise us with something that totally catches us off guard, which I would be totally okay with, because I like being surprised like that. Like the revelation that Han and Leia are the parents of Kylo Ren. That was a pretty shocking revelation to me, at least personally. I don't know if some other fans were like, I saw that coming, I knew that. Or if the rest of us were like, what? So, but anyway, I don't know about Rey's backstory. I'm sure we'll definitely get more details on hers and Finn's, those two especially, in Episode 8. And if not as much on Finn, definitely more on Rey, because I think she's the one we have more questions about. Finn's backstory, I'm sure, is just as interesting, but because Rey is the Force-sensitive one and the one whom the lightsaber called to, Luke's old lightsaber, I think we're in for some pretty interesting storytelling overall. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this predictions video. Thank you for your time and for tuning in here on the EdWord. What are your thoughts and theories and predictions of your own as to what we could see in Episode 8? What do you think will happen for some certain characters, old, recurring, and new? Do you want to see more of Admiral Akbar like I do? I enjoyed him in Force Awakens. I just wish we had seen him a little bit more. Maybe like the amount they used him in Return of the Jedi. Maybe we could see that somehow, if not in Episode 8, definitely Episode 9. assuming he survives that long to episode 9. So leave your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below. What do you think is going to happen in episode 8? What are your thoughts, opinions, and theories? Your commentary and whatnot. I love to hear from everybody. Please try to keep the comment section spoiler free regarding any of the Star Wars films for people who for some reason have never seen any Star Wars movies, or especially Force Awakens. Let's be respectful, civil, and polite of one another's beliefs and opinions, of course, as always, just as a common courtesy. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and stay tuned for my upcoming video recap where I'll be talking about my top favorite X-Files episodes as we get closer to the series premiere for the revival of the X-Files. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.